All right. Episode
Is this four,
4.
right? This is like a whole month in a row.
On track. Boom.
I know.
Yeah. Just finished a workout.
It was a great Sunday morning workout, I think.
You want to share it?
Yeah, we spent 20 minutes and we did ski and row and some toes to bar and handstand walks.
15 cal ski, 15 toes to bar, 15 cal row, 25-foot handstand walks.
Mm-hmm. No variation for women because we don't do that.
Classic.
Yeah.
20-minute.
Do you think our classes might see something like that?
They always do. We always test stuff out. That's the difference about us. Stuff we program, we do it, we tweak. Hey, this would be better. I mean, we live what we program.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of programming.
Yes, speaking of programming. So I saw something from one of our favorite people in the
Time's
podcast
up.
here. What the heck?
Just kidding.
So stupid. Anytime I start talking, he's like, "You're done."
Yeah.
And his name is Peter Attia. He's fantastic. But they were talking about workout protocols and what's sort of like optimal in the science world for health and longevity. And it just so happens to be kind of exactly what we suggest people do, which is pretty cool. I know it's not the science. I know you got your experience obviously trumps everything, but it is cool that science is sort of proving what you already know.
I agree. And listen, those people are some of the smartest people on the planet, right? Yeah. It's cool that they sit around and, figure all this stuff out. But I think the difference, I made a post the other day and I'm like, why pick our online programming? Yeah. Or, why join our gym? Mm-hmm. Well, I put, 3 decades of experience because it's true. Yeah. Like military, sports, CrossFit, other things we did before, endurance,
all the stuff,
competing at the highest level at CrossFit. So over time, if you're really into it and you want to make yourself the most best, athlete you can be, you figure it out, right? Yeah. So they said what?
They were saying that especially as we age, 3 days of strength training.
Right.
1 to 2 days of high intensity, like CrossFit style training.
Right.
And then about 2 to 3 days of zone 2, like you're just getting some movement in. And that's obviously overlapping probably with like some of those strength days.
Yeah. Zone 2, like you could hold a conversation type.
Yes. Yeah.
Longer duration.
Yeah.
And okay, so let's back up and how we do it, and that's what we believe in. And I think this is where most CrossFit gyms fail. Yeah. We love CrossFit.
Absolutely. Okay? That's the fun stuff.
But all they do is they expect, 5-6 days a week, come in, CrossFit. Mm-hmm. People want to do some of these movements and they can't do these movements. Why?
You're not strong enough. And you don't have the mobility.
You're not strong enough. You don't have mobility, and your technique is not good because you're lacking mobility and strength, right? Or, other things. But so that's what we believe in our structure. So 3 days a week, we do strength training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1 day, very lower intensive. Mm-hmm. The middle of the week, more full body.
Full body, throwing some odd objects.
Sled, pull, drag. We mix it up. End of the week, more upper body intensive. Mm-hmm. And we feel like getting those strengths in is helping our athletes on the other days where we do high intensity CrossFit, right? And then we do have some high intensity days as well. So we think it works really, really well. And it's just funny when you hear people say that and you're like,
I already knew that.
That's what we've
been doing. Yeah. I think something is interesting. You've always had a background. You've been pretty strong your whole life, like lifting wise, like obviously like you're not having any trouble doing push-ups and strict pull-ups, right?
Body weight
wise is what I'm talking about.
Strong.
And then when you decided you wanted to kick it up a notch and start competing more seriously, you've told me that one of the first things you got was a lifting coach.
Absolutely.
Because that was the thing that was holding you back.
Yes. Right? Yeah. Joey, friend of one of the owners of a dealership that I've known for years, got me involved with him more on the powerlifting side.
Just pure strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he put me on that heavily, and we do a lot of that today. that's where a lot of my knowledge came from. Because, for example, like I was not strong enough to compete at the highest level with like pulling heavyweight. So what's your things? Deadlift, weighted pull-ups, doing the isolation things, hamstrings, lower back, and I did that on a pure strength level. And then some other stuff, some pushing and things like that, not to get into all of the stuff that I did. I mean, that's what I kind of program, but it's so important to do that type of isolation. And I just don't see it in a lot of CrossFit gyms.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that to get better at things that are fun, like power cleans, snatches, bar muscle ups, toes bar, all that stuff, you had to kind of back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Get stronger first.
Yes.
And then you were going to get better at those movements. So you weren't going to get better at power cleans by doing garbage movement power cleans over and just doing them over and over again. You actually had to stop and start intentionally lifting, right?
Yeah.
I think that's something people need to hear, because they think that they are going to get better at CrossFit if they just keep doing more and more and more power cleans at 95, 65 over and over and over again. But they need to get stronger before they're going to be able to lift more.
And relatively speaking, everybody has different learning curve. So some people that can come in naturally, you're going to get a little bit better, but the proper way,
got to get strong.
Tear it down.
Yeah.
Start with the strength fundamentals, because what happens 9 times out of 10, it's lift to a heavy. You come in, you jam all this stuff in a class, and they're not. We did some warm up. They don't
take the warm up seriously.
Put the effort into the warm up.
Your warm up reps are almost more important than the other ones, because it's the time when you can slow down and really work on technique.
Yeah, and they jump too fast on the lifts. You can see when the form starts going back. You're like, hey, bring that back. I want to see good form, over heavy weight. So
you're saying we need a foundation before we can build the house?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's why we're building out the strength that we do.
Yeah.
And even when we build out the lower body on Monday, the full body Wednesday, the upper on Friday, we make sure that the CrossFit classes correlate with those types of movement, because some people want to do both, and it just seems to work really well. The strength component is so important. We believe in it more than anything. It's how I got better. And I don't want to say it's boring sometimes, but you have to do the same consistent stuff over and over, log it, measure it.
But that's the key to being good at anything. You have to start to love boredom. It's not boredom, though. You switch your mind.
Yeah.
You have to love and know that what you're doing has a purpose.
Yeah. And some of the downfall, when I went back to that heavy strength training, a lot of my conditioning and stuff,
it's a push-pull.
Suffered. Yeah. Okay, but it's okay, because that stuff came back pretty quickly.
Got it.
And then I learned to maintain a lot of my strength. And then I was able to do my strength with the CrossFit workouts, because I had good form, I had good technique, I learned my body. So building that foundation, man, is just so important for you moving and having the longevity of training the proper way.
Do you know what got in my way when I competed earlier, years and years ago? I wasn't strong and I didn't take the time to do it.
Yeah.
That was literally what ended up, that's what always held me back.
Yeah.
But at almost 45, I'm figuring that out.
And not everybody wants to compete, or not everybody wants to do a bar muscle up or a ring muscle up, or, chest to bar pull-ups,
But people want to do push-ups, and they want to be able to do a pull-up and hold their body weight.
But my point is, to get to those things, most time when I see, technique can be a factor, but it really almost always boils down to lack of strength.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
Yeah. So, oh man, it's funny when you hear that stuff, and experience, just doing it over and over. This is the long game. You can't get into fitness and do it half-hearted. You have to be all in. Mm-hmm. And if you would just slow down and listen. And listen to people that have made mistakes over the past 30 years of fitness. I promise you, we're going to lead you in the right direction and tell you how to be successful.
Mhm.
But people get caught up a lot. They see people's numbers on the board.
Everybody wants to beat everybody.
Yeah, they're competing against somebody. Man, listen, it's you against you. You've got to focus on what makes you better.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Whew, that could be a
That's
way
okay.
deeper
We can
subject.
go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
With that one, because then that can go into, like you just said, you got to be all in on fitness. That's a whole other conversation, and I don't think we have time for that because we are past our 10 minutes.
I know, a little bit over 10 minutes, but I want to say kind of to what's coming on the programming. What we've kind of figured out is we're about to merge that programming.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is just basically different levels.
Yeah.
You can come in as a beginner, 20 to 30 minutes where you start. Once you start building that foundation of what we talked about, then you can go to that next level 2. You can hit it for 45 minutes to 60 minutes, right? You would say, I think sometimes they say that's a novice, right?
You call it novice, sure.
Yeah, beginner, novice. And I think we made names for those. Hold on, you can tell that. And then if you want to take it to that next level, if you want to compete or you don't want to compete or you just want to push yourself to be elite.
Because it's fun.
Yeah. Then you're in that 1.5 to 2 hour range. Yeah. But it's all there. And all you have to do is just come in and start. We say, get in where you fit in. Right? Yeah. But what did we say? You said you had the names. Inside
we were still talking. We've got the last one. I mean, is our elite category.
Yeah, three options, but inside of one fits all. Yeah, right. Absolutely. And the first one was, I thought we agreed, base. Yeah. I believe it was base.
Base.
Where you start in as base. Yeah. The second one, foundation.
No.
Maybe don't hold me that. We're going back and forth. We're going back and forth.
We never argue.
I know. And the last one, elite. But it's really going to be top of the line programming where you don't have to think. Everything you need is going to be inside of there. So we're really kind of excited how this is going to come together. But
I think what I'm most excited about.
I said,
you did.
That was the first one.
Like 35 burpees. I think I owe 30. Okay. What I am most excited about is that our programming is not complicated. There's not extra words all over the place. There's not information that's getting in the way of you just doing something. Yeah. Because half the time people start reading and they get in the weeds, then they're looking at movements, then they're doing this, and they've spent an hour trying to prepare for it when really they just need to go in the gym and do it. Yeah. And each thing is going to have a warm up. Yeah. It's going to tell you exactly what to do. It's going to have a video. Then it's going to have the goal and intention of the workout. Yeah. And then, of course, modifications if you can't do something. Yeah. Very simplistic. Yeah. Yeah. Because we don't need to be making more decisions. We need to make less decisions. And just do things. But that's not what it's really special. It's coming. Oh no, that's something different. And I just still can't tell you. So it's closer. It's a work in progress. So close. It's gonna be a game changer. It's gonna be really cool. Yeah. You gotta keep watching. Drop hints here and there. Here's a hint. Consistency. Yeah. It's going to change your life. I promise. All right. What else? They're going to be unrecognizable. Yeah. They follow directions. Unrecognizable. Interesting. All right. It's like almost 14 minutes. I know. We got to stop. What do you got to say before we go? I was going to say, let's go. I know. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.